Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on Archive D Style here. If you're listening to Archive, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and thumbs up the video. Hit the notification button. That way you're notified every time D Style comes on live here on YouTube. Check this out, okay? I've touched on this, but I want to do a specific video dedicated on it. It is the series called Who is America that is on Showtime. I recommended you need to check this show out, okay? Sacha Baron Cohen is trolling the hell out of individuals and all sorts of individuals, but what makes it great is my favorite part, and I'll admit, is when he is exposing the right wing in this country. I mean, he exposes them hard, all right? That's why the right wing is talking shit about this show, and you know they don't like this show, and this, that, and the third. But I mean, it's hard. But it's not just that, by the way. He is exposing all types of individuals. You need to watch it. There is some spoilers in this video, so I'm just letting you know right out of the gate that there's spoilers here. Okay. What you see on YouTube alone isn't enough. You have to be subscribed to Showtime. You gotta watch this show. I don't like advertising for networks, but in this case, I'm telling you, a lot of you in my channel are subscribed to Showtime anyway for boxing. So I know you have access to the show. All right. You have to see it. One is there's the famous one. There's two of them that are really out there and have gone viral, right? One is the Georgia representative, right, that he convinces this dude to pull his pants down, even his underwear down, exposing his ass to supposedly intimidate ISIS. It's unbelievable how this guy falls for this. It's crazy. Okay, you have to see it. You have to see it. And there's another clip. I watched it. I got to be honest. I thought that this has to be acting. Like this has to be like a very bad Saturday Night Live skit here. I mean, this is terrible. It has to be, right? No, this is a real individual who was refusing to resign, ended up resigning, right? I mean, he gets these people to say things, right? And then they turn around and then they want to blame him for being deceiving, right? It's brilliant shit. Brilliant. He got this representative, by the way, to scream out the N-word at least 4 straight times. Just by saying that the N-word is a forbidden word, do a distraction against terrorists. I mean, you have to see it to believe it, right? There's another clip where he's referring to ISIS or just, you know, quote unquote terrorists as sand N-word, right? I mean, you got to see it, right? And he's chopping off a sausage and he puts it in, he takes a bite out of it, talks about he's going to make them eat their own penis, and they can't rape women no more without their penis once they chop them off. I mean, you got to see this, all right? It's must-watch television. It honestly is. There's, of course, the other famous one of the guns, right? I mean, we could sit here and debate about guns all day, but I think most sensible people agree that little kids should not be carrying guns in schools, right? But he had multiple. Not like he just got one guy. He got one guy to do a whole commercial with him, right? But not like he just got one guy to endorse the idea of 4-year-olds, all right, preschoolers, to have guns with them, right? And give bogus arguments that they make better soldiers because they haven't developed a conscience yet. You got to see this. I mean, it's you can't make this shit up. You can't. These guys come out, oh, he tricked us. He tricked us. It's brilliant what he does. What he does is brilliant, okay? He tricked us. Get the fuck out of here. There's another one that's also on YouTube if you want, if you could see it, but because he has different characters here, okay? And one of these characters is in the middle of Arizona, right? And he gets a bunch of people there. They're all white people, okay? And I would say about 80% of them there are male, from what I remember, maybe 70%. So mostly males, okay? Middle-aged and up. And he's talking about how first, pumping them up. Oh, we're gonna, invest $35 million into the town, and they're clapping and they're happy and yeah. And then he tells them we're gonna build a mosque. You could just all you could hear is the groans. Half of them cross their arms and are thinking to themselves, "Are you kidding me?" And immediately they start talking about terrorism, about how it's a terrorist mosque. The Islamophobia comes out of them immediately, right? And just the way he trolls them is brilliant. He brings up the mosque. He's like, well, do you guys approve, plan A? And it's like a smaller mosque, and plan B is a bigger mosque, right? So when he tells them, do you approve plan A? They say, no. He's like, okay, we'll go with plan B, which is the bigger mosque. And they're going crazy, and then they start exposing themselves, right? One guy yells out, the blacks are lucky. We're lucky to have blacks here, he says, right? And Sacha Baron Cohen says, the character says, see, finally, we have somebody that's open-minded and wants multiculturalism, and the guy's cutting him off. He's cutting him off, right? He's saying, no, that's not what I meant. I meant they're lucky that they're here. And one guy said, out of his mouth says, right, we don't want the blacks here either, but we tolerate them, right? You have to see this. And this is them doing it to themselves, all right? This is crazy. Half of them walk out. Half of them say they're tired of this. He talks about how Saudi Arabia is going to fund half. Like, don't worry, you're not going to have to fund anything. Saudi Arabia is going to fund half of it, right? And the Clinton Foundation is going to fund 5%, and they believe it, of course, right? And they get more mad about that. This is great. This is some great stuff, man, right? Because it's exposing them. It's flat out exposing the shit out of them, right? I like when one guy's like, whoa. What about our anybody has any concerns? Yeah, terrorism. Oh, don't worry about it. We have safety procedures to protect the mosque from terrorism, right? And the guy talks about burning it down. It's like, oh, that's one of the anti-terrorist procedures that we have in mind. Yeah. And now a lot of these people, by the way, I would imagine like the dude that make those comments about blacks and like they're coming out there, oh, we were tricked into this. If I would have known that it was a trick, I wouldn't have said what I said. There's no excuse for what you said. None. Right? Just like the these congressmen, okay, that were endorsing 4-year-olds with guns in schools, saying that they were tricked into saying, like, how do you get tricked into saying that? Because he acted like he was an important guy from Israel, and we support Israel, and he took advantage of the fact that we're such huge supporters of Israel. And because he took advantage of that, and at that point we would endorse anything he said. But if I would have known he wasn't an honest actor and he was just trolling us, I wouldn't have said what I said. Yeah, but you said it, right? But you said it. Like the dude that was pulling down his pants and trying to touch ISIS with his ass, and he's saying that Sacha Baron Cohen portraying himself as an Israeli anti-terrorist soldier took advantage of his fears of ISIS and made him vulnerable and made him do anything, right? Not like dude, it just, I know you don't like the results of it. I know you don't like the fact that you were trolled. You don't like the fact that the truth about you was revealed. That's what it is. You don't like that it's out there like that. Now, the guy, obviously, he did end up resigning, by the way, after refusing to resign at first. But There is another one. It's not all politics. There's another one of this model chick. Okay, she's like an actress from. I don't think I've seen this one on YouTube. So you guys got to see this one. She's an actress, and we're not. I wouldn't say actress. I would say like a reality star or something like that. Okay, from The Bachelor, right? And she is being flat out told by the producer, who's actually Sacha Baron Cohen, right, that they're going to take pictures of her in a green screen for a charity cause, right? But he's telling her flat out that, we want to make people believe that you were there. It's good for the charity, right? Now, she wasn't there, all right? She knows that they are photoshopping the pictures. He blatantly shows her this. So they're doing an interview, and it's just brilliant, right? He's talking to her about her career, and then starts talking about her being out there fighting the Ebola, and she said she was there for a week. Then he cuts her off, and he said, "Can you say it was for a month, because the whole thing was like 3 months long?" And she starts talking to him like, "Oh, but they're gonna know I wasn't there." And he's like, "Oh no, don't worry, I run the charity. I'll make sure that that's taken care of." She, "Oh, okay," and she just goes along with it, right? Like she just goes along with acting like she was in another country, helping kids with Ebola, and has her tell this he just starts telling these elaborate stories like, "Oh, yeah, there was a warlord that was going to kill like hundreds of people, but he recognized you, and he ended up not doing it. Can you tell us what happened there?" And she just starts telling the story. "Oh yeah, he saw me, and he was such a big fan, and I felt so good because I saved the lives of hundreds of people, and you got to see this, right? It is amazing. Like it just is. It's you got to see it, right? There's one where he's playing this he's playing a dude that just got out of being incarcerated, right? He just got out of prison. he's talking to this, and I think it's really exposing the arts, right? So in a way, this portion of it was attacking liberals, right? Or exposing some liberals as far as in the arts, because I've always said some of the bullshit I see in art galleries is just bullshit. Okay, but anyway, this one I couldn't believe, but he was drawing. I mean, he goes. It's so graphic and it's so disgusting. But he talks about how he started painting with his feces, right? And she's just like, "Oh my God, this is real art, and this is what art is all about." And starts talking about how he uses his cum for the white painting. I mean, it's just disgusting. Okay. But she's like buying this. Like it's the fact that she's buying into it, right? And make it, and then he pulls out a brush that he says is with people's pubic hair, okay? And he somehow gets her to volunteer and say that she'll give her some of her pubic hair for his brush. I mean, you gotta see this. It is unbelievable. All right. I mean, how embarrassing is that? That's embarrassing, right? He tries to troll the dudes. He has this other character. It's like this kind of like a Breitbart, InfoWars type of character where he's like this conservative middle-aged dude that thinks everything is fake news. Typical Trump supporter. Probably kind of a parody of it, to be honest. But he kind of trolls Bernie Sanders. The segment is funny, but it's not a successful troll. He tries to troll a couple. I think his main goal is to get on their nerves, and it works, right? I mean, they cut the interview short, right? This shit's great, right? The Roy Moore thing is hilarious, right? The look on Roy Moore's face when he's doing the pedophile detector is it's priceless. It is absolutely priceless. But anyway, I love this show, and from what I hear, crazier shit is yet to come. Like, to me, this was like finale type shit. Like, there's crazier stuff that's gonna come. Are you shitting me? This is crazy. And by the way, I recommend you guys watch this. I recommend it. All right. Very seldom do I come on here. The only things I've ever recommended was Game of Thrones and this. Okay. So I'm telling you, you got to see this. This is just crazy. All right. Some of it is cringeworthy. All right. And I mean cringe in like it makes you feel uncomfortable kind of a way, because one of the characters he plays is kind of like it's like a weird character, man. It's like this super liberal kind of dude that believes in 27 sexes, and he always talks about, like, I think there's this one thing where he's talking about how a Syrian man made love to him, but it doesn't mean he's a homosexual. It's just to kind of get a reaction from the people he's interviewing, right? But you do got to see it, right? And it's just so like super left, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like I think that character is who people on the right believe liberals to be, and he's playing that character, and you got to see it. You know, it is, and there's actually people like that out there, which is why it's brilliant that he's doing this. Right? He talks about you got to see it. Okay, that's probably my least favorite character of that thing, because it just makes you go like, you know. But aside from that, though, his Israeli character is brilliant. It exposes two things. Okay, it exposes how our politicians, if they're just people know that Israel has lobbyists in Washington, right? So just think about that, right? And how politically incorrect it is in this country to, you know, say anything bad about Israel, right? I mean, it just is. You can't criticize it without being called a anti-Semite or anything like that, right? So it exposed how vulnerable our system of government is to foreign powers like Israel, and how influential they could be. They could convince these guys to endorse 4-year-olds with guns, and, you know, to pull their pants down, knowing that there's a camera present, okay, and yell out the N-word multiple times, and you know what I mean, say derogatory things about, you know, Middle Eastern people and stuff like that. When they know that there's cameras there. This is the astonishing part. These were not hidden cameras. They knew in all these segments that the cameras were there. They knew this was going to go to some outlet. They thought this was going to go to Israeli television, you know? And as soon as they found out that it wasn't, you saw how they're reacting, right? You could kind of see it is absolutely crazy. Now, the media, right? The way the media is covering this is absolutely embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing. When they're talking about how Sacha Baron Cohen, I mean, it's the controversial. They're talking about the controversial methods which he's using, and about how is it right for him to do what he's doing in a nation that's already divided, right? It's like he's causing further division in the country by doing this trolling, all right? I don't know that exposing people for who they are was trolling. I didn't know that. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Let me rephrase that. I didn't know that exposing people for who they really are by trolling them, right, is dividing people. Okay. I want the mask off. Right. I mean, you know, and the reason he trolls them is Sacha Baron Cohen went as Sacha Baron Cohen to all these politicians and told him, you know, will you approve of, you know, 4-year-olds with guns? They'll know who Sacha Baron Cohen is, and they'll say, no, of course I wouldn't say that, right? If Sacha Baron Cohen, okay, got a group of white people in Arizona, okay, and started talking to them whether they hate blacks or not, they're all going to say, no, of course not. You know, everybody thinks that we're racist. We're not racist, right? So he has to troll them in a way that makes them expose themselves, right? That's what he has to do. Okay, there's no divide in this country, Right? There's half of this country has lost its fucking mind. Right? Like it's this idea that we have to pretend like everything's all equal is crazy. Sacha Baron Cohen is exposing these people. That's what he's doing. He is exposing them. He's not forcing them that they can walk away from the interview if they want. Some of them do. They could decline to comment. They can disagree with what he's saying. Right? I forgot to mention the Dick Cheney, by the way. I mean, he trolls the shit out of Dick Cheney, right? And he had Dick Cheney sign a waterboard. I mean, you can't make this shit up, right? He had him sign it. I mean, this is crazy. All right, but anyway, when the media comes out, they're like, oh well, I don't think it's honest for him to come out and portray himself as something he's not, and like they're making it like that's the outrage. You are outraged at an individual who's playing a character, encouraging Republicans to endorse 4-year-olds with guns. You're not outraged at the fact that there's Republicans, that are endorsing the fact that 4-year-olds should have guns. I mean, you can't make this shit up. It's like the model, right? The model that knowingly knew she was lying about, being in a foreign country in danger and helping little kids with Ebola and all this other stuff. She was never there, right? So you're telling me that she could come out and say, oh, I was tricked into doing this. I mean, I don't know what was going on. No, you knew exactly what you were doing. You consented to what you were doing, right? What you didn't know is that you were being trolled, right? But you knew what you were doing. They knew what they were endorsing. Right. And I've said multiple times, this is what I compare it to, right? When they catch pedophiles online, right? Like they have no idea. They're chatting with an adult on the internet, but they think that they're chatting with a 13-year-old girl or 12-year-old girl, right? If that guy is sending, nude pictures to what he believes is a 13-year-old girl, right? Sending her dick pics, this, that, and the third, and then makes plans to meet her, drives at the address that she posted on the DM and all this stuff. He shows up, right? And then they arrest him. Well, he can't say, well, I was tricked. I don't know. I wasn't really talking to a 13-year-old girl. I thought it was a real 13-year-old girl, but it wasn't a 13-year-old girl, so I didn't do anything, right? This is how Republicans are acting. This is how some of the people being trolled by Sacha Baron Cohen are reacting. All right? It's like, don't be upset now that it turned out to be a big lie, right? Yes, Sacha Baron Cohen was lying that he was a Israeli soldier that did anti-terrorism. He was lying about that. Yes, he was. It's the whole show is a troll job. But he wasn't, I mean, he may have encouraged you, right? He played mind games with you, right? To encourage you to say things you otherwise wouldn't say. He made you believe that you were safe to say the things you were saying. That's those college kids in Borat that were talking about how rape should be legal, right? And Borat was encouraging it and all that, but look, you're not going to get me to say rape should be legal. I don't care if it's a joke or anything. That's not a joke to me. You're not going to get me to endorse 4-year-olds with guns. Okay, you're not going to get me to take my pubic hair and give it to a guy who uses feces, okay, to paint. Okay, you're not going to get me to say I was doing charity outside of a country for sick kids, right? And act like I was doing it the whole time. Okay, you're not. It's the fact that these people did these things, right, and endorsed these things. The fact that they did that, right, is on them. And when the media comes out and they try to make Sacha Baron Cohen, the bad guy, and they come out and they say, "Oh, it's not honest how he's doing it. That's not real reporting. That's not how a real reporter acts. Real reporters do this, do that." Look, man, right? It's Sacha Baron Cohen is a comedian, right? He's an actor, and he was in fact trolling people, but he exposed a lot. He's exposing a lot of people. Okay, it's what he's doing, and I think it's brilliant, and I endorse it 100%. All right. Speaking of pedophiles, the Roy Moore thing is fucking hilarious. Okay, best part. I mean, that show was great. Okay. The best part is that he said he was never. Roy Moore said, "I've been married for 33 years, and I have never," he said, "been accused." Like, bro, you've been accused, bro. Right? What are you talking about? Right? Black Lancy says, "What up? Gonna do a boxing shoot today? I'll try. I'm not sure yet." H. Harbor, the Moss segment was awesome. When they were like, "Around here, Hillary Clinton is even worse than the Moss." Black Land says that, yes, you do got to watch it. Aid Harbor, apparently the last episodes are going to be crazy. Can't imagine what worse he can do. First of all, having a straight face and asking people to do certain things or ask him certain is a talent in itself. Okay. Show host, I apologize on behalf of the UK for producing such a faggot ass comedian, and that's his opinion, right? When he interviewed Roy Moore, yeah, that was hilarious. Okay. And how are things? Well, Joe host, I'm not familiar with Sacha Baron Cohen as a person or all that. All I know is that the characters he is portraying is exposing the shit out of people, and people need to start watching this shit. Okay, that's all I know. I mean, it's insane. Like, it's crazy the things people say, knowing that there's a camera. That's the best part, right? They know the camera's like right there, and they still do all these crazy things. I mean, that's the best part. Look, in fact, let me do this. Let me. I have the Showtime app, and hopefully, knock on wood, all right, nobody flags me or some shit for playing this part. It's not on YouTube or anything, but I really want to play it. Okay, I'll pull it up here. Now I'm doing commentaries. I shouldn't get flagged. I'm providing commentary for it, but I mean, this shit is you can't. You just can't make it. Oh, I forgot to mention. Oh, I got to mention this one. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna play it right now. But he gets three grown ass men to put on, okay, pussy panties. All right. And the way he gets them to do this is because he's talking to three guys that are really concerned about terrorism and illegal aliens, right? They're very concerned about this. This is the biggest threat to the country. So it's like Sacha Baron Cohen's character is like, I have devised a plan to catch all the illegal, to catch a bunch of illegal Mexican immigrants. And the plan he devised was that he's going to throw a quinceañera, right? That's like a Sweet 16, but for 15-year-old girls, right? In Mexican culture, okay? And he's asking them, do you know what a quinceañera is? They're like, oh yeah, it's when it's a big party. They dress up for a big party. It's a big drunken party. And the one guy says, he's like, oh yeah, it's when the woman is the girl is starting to go into womanhood, right? And he asked him, what do you think they do in these quinceañeras? And then these guys, man, they're like, And it tells you where their minds are, right? He's like, oh, they're gonna take advantage of the girls. They're gonna rape the girls. It's what they do at these quinceañeras, right? Like this is what they have in their mind when they think about Mexicans. Okay, at a quinceañera, right? That this is what comes up in their mind. And Sacha, he just goes along with it. Oh yeah. You know they're gonna take advantage of these little girls, right? That's what. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna throw a quinceañera. Right, we're gonna have food. We're gonna have Mexican music. We're gonna have piñatas, and one of you is gonna dress up as the quinceañera, as a young 15-year-old girl, and he convinces a dude to dress up as a 15-year-old girl, a grown ass man, clearly in his 40s or 50s. Okay, white man, by the way, dressing up as a Mexican 15-year-old girl, right? And has her put on a dress, the pussy panties. He has them touch the pussy panties. You got to see this, all right? And he's like, oh, what type of signs should we have outside to entice and lure in these illegal immigrants? And he's like, oh yeah, they just say there's a lot of young girls here, and one guy says pussy, just put pussy, and make sure you put young pussy. So anyway, one dresses up, one's inside the piñata. Okay, and Sacha Baron Cohen dresses a mariachi, with a little guitar, and they're like, oh, any moment they'll be here. They got guacamole and chips on the table, right? And then the cops show up, and the cops are like, we got like some complaints. We got some phone calls about you're trying to lure in little girls here. And it zooms into he put, like, Sacha Baron Cohen put on the sign what they said he should put on the sign, right? Young pussy, young girls, live music, all right? And it's a quinceañera, like, it's stupid. And then he gave him this bozo, like, he told him, you got to open the condoms and use a lubricant to put it on your face, because when you're attacked by the illegal immigrants and they punch you, the punch slips off of your face. So they had like condoms with them. So when the cops show up, they're like, "Well, what do you got condoms with you?" And like, "What are you doing with like lubricant and condoms?" And and they're like, the guy's trying to explain to them when you put it in your face, and the cops. The one guy dressed up as a girl just standing there like, do you have a weapon? He's like, I got a fake weapon. He pull up the skirt. He has a fake vagina. He's like, what is that? It looks like a fake vagina. He's like, that's what it is. You got to see this. You got to see this. Okay. There's 3 racist motherfuckers devised the plan, right? To lure in the Mexican immigrants, right? With a quinceañera. And you got to see it, right? But it tells you where their mind is at. It really does. I mean, that's a crazy place to have your mind. I'm just saying, okay? All right, let's see here.
They all show up. They're going to come because they think there are going to be young girls there. Yeah. The one who is going to lead the operation out of you will get to be the quinceañera girl. I'm going to tell you about one piece of clothing that saved my life and many other lives.
Well, let me backtrack a little bit.
Stories and the illegals coming into this country. They're taking our jobs, they're taking our money, and they're not keeping it here. They don't want to assimilate with us. I mean, I voted for Trump, as you can see with the hat I'm wearing, for the reason I want him to build the wall.
There's no vetting. Nobody checks anybody to know who they are. You just come in, you can get a name, you can get a driver's license in Georgia, which you shouldn't be able to do, which basically gives you rights to do about anything. Are there things that the main street media are not telling you? Oh, yeah.
All we get are these sob stories about the poor Mexican. And we're paying through the nose to educate these people, put them on welfare.
Today's mission is to trap illegal Mexican. How are we going to do this?
You have to bait them somehow.
Do you know what quinceanera is?
Yeah, they get all dressed up, really dressed up, everybody. They have a really big party. I think it's 15 years old is what the age is for them. And it's a big party. I mean, it's a big drunk party.
It's a transition for the girls going into womanhood at 15.
Right.
What do they think they're going to do with the young girls?
Have their way.
What did it mean have their way?
They're going to rape them, really.
They're going to take advantage of a young 15-year-old girl who is not ready to go into womanhood.
Right.
Yes.
We're going to throw a quinceanera. You know why?
Okay. Because they all show up.
They're going to come because they think there are going to be young girls there.
Anyway, I don't want to play too much, but this shit's crazy. This is crazy, right? See what I can find here. Let's see. Let me see if it plays. Get ready for this. It might be the other video, but let's see. Hold on. Yeah, I didn't play it here for some reason. It's not playing on this app for some reason. I don't know why. It's weird. I don't know, but you guys got to see it. All right. Make sure you watch Who is America? Who is America? Okay, you got to see it. All right. Let's see if I can pull up the chat again here. And he uses certain trigger words that work with these people. Like, oh, well, yeah, you know what? The mainstream media's been lying this whole time. And, you know, they just go with it. Okay. Yeah, that was a jokey style. Laughing my ass off, right? Yeah, when he interviewed Rick Moore, that was hilarious. Is the video out? I don't know if it's on YouTube, man. They don't have everything on YouTube. They want you to subscribe to Showtime. If a lot of you guys are boxing fans, man, if you have Showtime, you should be able to watch it. But I know Showtime's giving like a free preview month and all that. You guys can check it out. What's up to Mr. Doc with his ribs hurting? These videos are giving him the gancho a liga, though. All right. Who fell for the accident? I don't know. Pesh in the house. What's up? Mr. Doc sound like a bad French foreign legion accent, right? Yeah, but he says Israel, so they fall for it. Good, this style is breaking me up. My ribs are hurting. Me too. This shit's golden. When is this out? Yeah, it's already out. It's on Showtime. You guys got to see it. That's how do you think I'm playing it? Let me see if I could play something else that isn't on YouTube. Hold on. No. Oh, you know what? I know why that one part I wanted to play didn't play. But I got you now, guys. Hold on. I was on the wrong video here, but I don't want to watch ads, man. I pay Showtime. I'm going to watch no fucking ads.
Red Dragon, Beijing, Hong Kong. I think I'm into Hong Kong. The sushi. When I said, I see the Red Dragon.
Convince this dude to act Chinese.
Ho Chi Minh City.
Unbelievable.
Thank you. Red Dragon chopstick. Sushi.
Good. Let's look at the picture. He's not a terrorist. Because of who you are, you could be the victim of kidnapping by ISIS. You have 2 seconds to attract attention. How do you attract attention?
You start screaming. Take your clothes off.
In America, there is one forbidden word. It is the N-word. Now,
This idiot.
I am going to be the terrorist. You have 3 seconds to attract attention. Go!
Nigger! 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 Nigger!
Are you crazy? The N-word is noonie, not this word. This word is disgusting.
Got it.
Exposed.
ISIS are scared of being seen as homo. You know what it means, homo?
Yeah.
If your buttock touch them, it means they have become a
Homosexual.
Now I am going to teach you how to use your buttocks to intimidate.
Now, notice. I don't think enough people notice this. They say these things. Like, notice, like, you guys notice that? Oh, when they believe that if your butt touches them, that they become, and then they finish the word, a homosexual, right? So this is not like he put it in there, like they're saying it, just like the quinceañera thing, right? He had them say all these things, right? They're the ones that said, "Oh yeah, they rape little girls there." When they turn 15, the Mexican men just rape all the women when they turn 15 at the quinceañeras. Like that is an unbelievable thought to have. Okay, if you think that's what happens at quinceañeras. Right, and then he asked them, "What should we put on the signs?" Right, and he put what they said. So they can never. It's brilliant what he does. Like I'm not saying this is. I'm just saying that is brilliant.
Show me the buttock. No, trousers down.
He pulls down his pants. Unbelievable.
Okay.
The dude
Go.
pulled down his pants.
Good. One more time, but louder with America. In the Mossad. Not in the Mossad. If you want to win, you show some skin. Okay, show it to me. Now, try to touch me.
I'll touch you. I'll touch you with my buttocks. I'll touch you. You better drop the gun or I'll touch you. USA!
Okay, stop. You have to remind me. If I touch you, you will become a homosexual. Okay? Now, try to touch me. Go. Go. Go.
USA! USA, motherfucker.
Okay, yes, son. You show me your weapon. Go.
I'll touch you. I'll make you a homosexual. You drop that gun right now. USA!
Okay.
Oh man, this is. Let's get some other seats here.
We don't call it torture.
Did your wife want to see more dick?
Well, she wasn't eager. Yeah, sure. I loved being Secretary of Defense, especially in wartime, especially during Desert Storm.
It's fun.
We had the capacity, I deployed 500,000 men and women to the Gulf.
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
we had stealth technology. We had the precision-guided munitions. We had.
This is, so for those that don't know, this is the same Israeli character he's playing. Okay, that kind of sounds French. It sounds like a French dude to me. But anyway, he's a quote unquote Israeli. Okay, they couldn't figure it out. All right, but he's talking to Dick Cheney. He asked him, "What's your favorite war?" This is great, man. This is great.
All of this capability that we developed, and some of it was used for the first time.
What do you think Iraq would have been like if you didn't liberate it? Would it have been a breeding ground for terrorists and unstable?
I think it would have been, yes. We felt that it was an important strategic interest.
I have killed some terrorists. How does it feel being the king of terrorist killers? You killed 100,000 actual terrorists and about 700,000 potential terrorists.
You killed about 700,000 potential terrorists. Like, this is brilliant shit, bro. Right? You know what that means? Like, we don't even know if 700,000 were terrorists, but you killed them. Like, they could have been terrorists. You know, like. Oh, Dick Cheney, by the way, just the look on his face, like, oh, when I was Secretary of Defense, it was such an honor to deploy 500,000 troops and for us to use all the gadgets and all the technology and the bombs and all this great stuff that we had. And oh, it was fun times, you know. I mean, the glee. I hate the word glee, but the glee in Cheney's face when he talks about, you know, bomb. I mean, this is a terrible human being, man. Like, Dick Cheney is a horrible person. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, I've always thought this, right? Dick Cheney he's a terrible human being. He really is.
It was never personal. I mean, I wasn't in the same position you are, where it was kill or be killed.
We wanted to see more of you. We wanted to get rid of Bush and see more Dick. Was that ever your aim?
No, never was.
And what about your family, your wife? Did your wife want to see more Dick?
Well, she wasn't eager for it.
Yo, by the way, Cheney's catching on to him. But he's like, what about your wife? Does she want to see more Dick? Well, his name is Dick Cheney, right? So he can't accuse him of, like, being inappropriate. But it's just kind of funny.
Politics. We'd had a great run, and it was never an objective of hers.
Why is it that people don't give you enough credit for the many ways that you improved interrogation and humane torture?
Well, you'd have to ask them. We had a lot of very good people working for us.
Torturers or
interrogators.
Sure.
Yeah, we don't call it torture.
What do you call it?
Enhanced interrogation. That's what we call it.
My neighbor in Tel Aviv is in jail for murder, or as we call it, enhanced tickling. You know, whether you call it enhanced tickling or murder, it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
To prepare for the interview, I Googled Dick and torture, and a whole lot of strange contraptions came up, but these are nothing to do with you.
No, I haven't seen that. I'll have to do that. I'd like to see that,
Oh, jeez.
how they treated it.
Yeah, I Googled it, and there were contraptions with spikes and constraints. One was...
Oh, wait, the fact that Dick Cheney isn't moved at all by war, man. He talks about... Like, Dick Cheney talks about wars like the way we talk about, like, the Mikey Garcia fight against Robert Easter on Saturday. That's how he talks about it. Oh, yeah, he threw a great jab, and it was a good win. And that's how he talks about war. It's crazy.
She was not cheating, but now I know to trust her words. Mm-hmm. And actually, she is a lot more compliant ever since.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't have that problem.
I heard one time while hunting, there was a man who tried to attack you and you had to shoot him in the face.
No, well, that's a bit of a distortion.
So you asked him about that. I want to get to this good part. So, but man, Dick Cheney is not in any way, shape, or form. I mean, he has no. Sacha Baron Cohen just told him it's like calling murder enhanced tickling. Doesn't matter what you call it. Like, it is what it is. It's the same thing, right? And Cheney just said, yeah. Like if, yeah, so, like this dude is an evil dude. Like, he's a terrible person, honestly. Like, I remember I was asked once, like, who's worse, Trump or Cheney? Like, is that even a question? Like, I think Cheney's way worse.
Quail.
Let's see if I could.
Is going to be.
Okay, we got to watch this one. This is great. This is awesome.
Town and home of civil rights activist Timothy McVeigh, now a depressed habitat for voters clearly still mourning the tragedy of Hillary's election loss. What could be better to lift their spirits than news of an exciting new urban development that I decided to tell them about at a town hall meeting I called?
who wants to see huge economic growth here? Everybody, right?
Yeah.
Who wants
Woo.
to see an investment of $385 million?
It wasn't 35. It was 300. All right.
Guess what? You guys are going to get it. I'm here to tell you that Kingman has been chosen as the location of a brand new state-of-the-art mosque. What? I know some of you are thinking, okay, this is just another typical mosque. This, guys, is going to be the world's largest mosque outside of the Middle East.
Just the word alone scares you. To me, when I hear the word mosque, I think of terrorism.
Is there a need for this in Kingman?
Yes, there is.
How? Why? What?
Your town will become a hub for tourism for Muslims around the world. Can I get a whoop whoop?
No. We don't want that shit here.
You bring your Muslims?
Think about
We might
that.
have problems. We probably will have problems.
We'll all be moving out of this thing.
Okay, let's before we make up our minds, let's take a closer look at this wonderful mosque.
We made up our minds.
The Imam Zayed Wahhabi Mosque of Kingman. You guys will have the choice between two different designs. This is the first design. This is design 1. And this is design 2. So who here supports design 1?
Nobody.
Okay, so you're all for design 2.
Neither. We don't want either one.
Okay, so let me ask you, sir. You don't like this construction. Tell me about your dream mosque.
There is no dream mosque. We don't want a mosque.
Mosque is for money.
Mosque. As soon as you said mosque, you ruined it.
Where is the money coming from? It's not going to be paid for by you. It's primarily going to be paid for by the Saudi government.
Of course.
The Clinton Foundation is...
That's a big fucking mistake right there. You should have never brought that up.
She's a piece of work.
that's even worse than the mosque.
Okay, listen, can everybody be calm? This is not a big deal. This is just a
It's
building.
a huge deal.
It's a building. And
It's not a building. It's a fucking terrorist mosque.
Okay, let me address terrorism. Rest assured, I share your concerns, and we will do everything we can to protect these Muslims from it. The mosque will have fortified walls, and there will be barricades
to
to
keep the
prevent...
Muslims safe inside.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why would we want them safe inside when we don't even want them in our town?
Well, it would be to protect the worshippers from any violent
It's not
racism.
us that's causing the violence. It's them.
Oh, no. Hey, I didn't imply anybody here is racist. Of course not.
I am. I'm racist toward Muslims.
Let me continue, and then
That would probably look good in a fire.
well, it will be made out of stone, so it won't be able to burn. So that's one of the anti-terrorist measures. I really believe by the end of this presentation, you guys are going to be completely convinced.
You're wrong.
Let me show you how your town will change.
Oh, hell. You're fucking kidding me, right? Hell, you change the name on that, and I guarantee you're going to have a fight in your hands. There ain't a goddamn thing about that we like.
Can we hear from some of the Muslims in this room? How do you feel about it, sir? Are you a Muslim?
No. There's no Muslims.
There's no Muslims.
Oh, there are no Muslims here at all.
This town's lucky to have black people in it.
Yeah, of course you're lucky to have black people. They add a lot to the society. Thank you, sir. Finally, somebody who appreciates multiculturalism.
You totally missed it.
Sir, you are completely right. The benefit of having African Americans means a more diverse. Thank you, sir. Don't be
He's
ashamed.
saying there's black people in Kingman that aren't welcome there either, but we tolerate them.
Okay. One thing I do in Bend, Oregon is sometimes when there's an atmosphere of tension, which there is here, I use music to alleviate the tension. There is a wonderful song that I use that relaxes people, and it's from the Xhosa tribe in South Africa. It goes like this. Shoshaloza, Shoshaloza,
There ain't nothing calming about that.
I listened enough to that when I worked at Texas.
Pardon me? Where are you going? You are triggered, and you are feeling some anger.
When we are
You're pulling the trigger harder now. We don't want to hear that shit. You really think this is calming us?
This will calm if
It's
you
not
close your
calming us.
eyes.
It's pissing us off.
Close your eyes.
I understand exactly why there was told no weapons here.
Why is that, sir?
Because you come down here and open your mouth and say this kind of shit in front of us, Arizonites, somebody's going to get hurt.
Well, I'm going to write that down.
So notice the brilliance of this. Okay, first of all, is it funny that he's trolling them? Yes. Okay. But notice how a lot of it is projection, right? It's a mosque. If you bring a mosque here, I mean, the terrorists, like they're so concerned about terrorists being there, right? And Muslims being there because they're all terrorists, according to them, right? One of them even says, it's funny because whenever, like, I remember when, if in any way, shape, or form you call somebody a bigot because they assume things about Muslims, right? Immediately it's, how can I be racist towards Muslims? It's they're not a race, they're a religion, right? Wink, wink, and they think they're pulling a fast one, right? Yeah, I guess technically it doesn't make you a racist, but it does make you a bigot, right? But nonetheless, it's interchangeable in a way because the guy just say it on here, right? That, yeah, I'm racist towards Muslims. Whether that's a correct thing to say in terms of is that the right word or not is irrelevant. Okay, he doesn't like Muslims just because they're Muslim. Now, anyway, let's really put it in perspective. The guy just said that if you just talk about stuff like this, and I had a gun with me, all right, he is implying he would have shot him and killed him. He would have done murder just because something's being proposed, like a mosque, okay, in the town. Well, that's murder. That's a crime, right? You can't do that, right? And notice the brilliance of this skit is, and you could tell he was ready for a lot of the things that were going to be said, but he used their words, right? Like when one guy said, we're lucky to have blacks here, something like that. He said, yeah, you're right, sir. We it's good to be multicultural. And he even corrected him, said, no, that's not what I meant. I meant the blacks are lucky to be here, and we don't even want them here, but we just tolerate them, right? Their own, right? They're saying this on their own. Nobody's telling them to say these things. The other thing is they repeatedly start talking about how they're going to commit terrorist acts on the mosque, like burn the mosque. They said, no, that's one of the anti-terrorists, because when they say, what about the terrorists? Oh, no, we're ready for the terrorists. They just didn't know he was talking about them, right? So threatening to burn down a mosque, I mean, this is not outside of the realm, guys. In Canada, a dude shot up a mosque and killed a lot of innocent Muslims. This is not, just something random. This is something that it looks like they would do. This one guy saying, "No, I know why." If you said no weapons here, because if we had our weapons right now, like just think about that. They are threatening. And when he says, "Oh, don't worry, it's gonna be fortified, so it'll protect the worshipers inside from racists from attacking them," and then they got angry, right? Like, if you're not a terrorist, you're not a racist that's gonna attack the mosque, why are you getting angry about it, right? And one guy even says, well, why should we protect the mosque if we don't even want him here to begin with? It's all projection is what it is. They're threatening a terrorist act on a mosque that hasn't been built yet and won't be built. All this was a troll job, okay? But they're claiming that it's the Muslims that are going to be the terrorists. I mean, the projection is simply unbelievable. And this next part is the best part, by the way. You guys got to check this part out, man. You can't make this shit up. I'm waiting for this to pass. You're right, Mr. Doc. He's a bigot that's too stupid to know he's a bigot.
All
you damn sand niggers over in the Middle East, we are tired of you coming to America, and we are tired of you trying to threaten us. We will cut off your dick. You understand? We will take your dick and we will shove it in your mouth, pull it off, and put it in your mouth. How are you going to rape children and women without a dick? I'm Jason Spencer. I'm an elected official in the state of Georgia. I'm a state representative and member of the Georgia General Assembly.
Wow. All right. That one's not on YouTube, by the way. Okay. It's yeah, he just did that. You can't make this shit up. Can anybody make this up? We're gonna play it again. All right. By the way, it's the dude that pulled down his pants and all that. The representative from Georgia. That's him. All right. I'm trying to play it again.
Jason Spencer. I'm an elected official in the state of Georgia. I'm a state representative and member of the Georgia General Assembly. We don't want to hear that shit.
The best part was that nobody was forcing these people to be in that room, by the way. Like, we don't want to hear that. Leave. Like, you could leave if you want, bro. Well, I could picture that dude right now, like somewhere. It's because this. I wonder what they're thinking, you know? Like it's like, oh, I was tricked into saying these things. That's not who I really am, right? I'm going to play it one more time, guys, okay? Hope you're ready to listen to this. Listen to this. The same dude that pulled down his pants, all right? Here it goes.
All you damn sand niggers over in the Middle East, we are tired of you coming to America, and we are tired of you trying to threaten us. We will cut off your dick. You understand? We will take your dick and we will shove it in your mouth, pull it off, and put it in your mouth. How are you going to rape children and women without a dick? I'm Jason Spencer. I'm an elected official in the state of Georgia. I'm a state representative and member of the Georgia General Assembly.
Yeah. I don't know how this guy could possibly argue that he was tricked into doing all this. Okay. But anyway. Eight Harbor. How do these guys backpedal out of this, pretending that they were the victims, fooled when they're representing their true selves on here? I agree. All right, the older guy talking about weapons too good to be true. His reactions are hilarious. Yeah, I know. I know. Perry's talking about Cheney promoted war was one of the worst, but not the only thing he promoted. Mr. Doc, wow, I'm racist towards Muslims, racist, bigoted, and too stupid to know the difference. We got some special humans in this country. Yep. Anyway, you guys, check it out. I absolutely highly recommend this series. You got to watch it, right? It's you can't make this shit up, man. It's you just can't. And then the best part is if you start searching like these people and the things they said and how they were tricked and it's not who I really am and all this other horse shit. It's you got to see it, okay? So that's really all I got to say. All right, this is D-Style. Thanks for everybody that tuned in, and I'm out.